you fed up with your chest looking like this and never being able to find the blocks you want, but you're just too lazy to sort them manually? Well, I'm going to help you make all your chests look just like this, automatically. Then I'm going to give you a Minecraft base with a fully functional item sorter in this amazing seed as a free world download. But first, I'm going to show you how to make it. Let's get on with it. Hello everyone, and welcome to this automatic item sorter tutorial from me, Avomance. Today, I'm going to show you how to make an automatic inventory system that works in Minecraft 1.19 and below, and should work in future versions as well. And I'm going to give you a completed base with the item sorter in it in this incredible seed. But I am really sorry, this item sorter only works in Java edition, so this is not for you Bedrock players. So let's crack on. I'm going to split this up into 4 parts: the sorting system, the input system, the expansion system, and finally the base build. Let's start with the sorting system. The sorting section has been around for a while and it's only 1 block wide. Multiple modules can be placed next to each other without affecting the way it works. For each individual 1 wide module, these are the blocks that you're going to need. Now you can use barrels or chests. Barrels have got the advantage that they look nicer and you can have solid blocks above them, but chests can be double chests and therefore have more capacity. It's completely up to you. You are then going to need 44 blocks that you are never going to sort. I'll talk about that in a moment. I'm not going to use cobblestone. And then you need 1 block that you are going to sort. Now the easiest way to get a block that you're never going to sort is by renaming it in an anvil, and that way you can get lots and lots of blocks that are really common but call them something daft. For 1 enchantment point, you can name something really common like cobblestone into something else that you're never going to sort. Ooh, that's an interesting name. The way you make this is actually quite simple. Place down 2 of your structural blocks 1 block apart, and then whichever direction is forwards, place your repeater in between the 2 blocks. Make sure it stays on 1 tick, and then using shift click, place a block on top of that repeater and then 2 more blocks to the side of it like that. Place a redstone torch on the face of the block that's the other side of the repeater, so as it's pointing upwards into this block, and then place redstone dust on that block, redstone dust on that block, redstone dust on that block. Then grab your comparator and face that into that redstone dust. Jump off and grab 1 of your hoppers and shift click that into that comparator so it's facing towards the comparator. Then grab a temporary block, I'm using dirt, and place it just underneath that first hopper, and then grab, I'm using a barrel, this is where you would use potentially a chest, and tuck your barrel right there next to that temporary block. Grab your temporary block out, you don't need that anymore, and then get your last hopper and shift click that into whatever container you're using, whether it is a barrel or a chest. So you should have a configuration that looks just like that. In the hopper that faces into that comparator, right click on it and place those blocks that you are never ever going to sort into the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd and the 2nd slots, 11 in each, and then grab the item that you are going to sort with this module and place that into the 1st slot. You should therefore have 45 blocks in the hopper in total, 11, 11, 11, 11, and then 1 of your sortable blocks. You can see that the redstone line runs across the first 2 blocks but doesn't hit the 3rd block yet. As a result, it doesn't fire the system. However, if I was to fill up that 1st slot, you can see the logs start to move through. That's because this is now powered, which has powered our repeater, which has turned off that redstone lamp, which has unlocked this hopper and is allowing product to flow through into the barrel. And it will keep flowing through until there's just 1 left. You will also find that it leaves 1 in the hopper underneath it as well. That's because when it repowers, it locks that last block in, so do expect that. But all the other blocks end up in your container. So that's how it works if you're sorting something that stacks in 64, but some things stack in 16s like ender pearls or eggs or honey bottles, for example. So you have to make a very small change. All you need to do is change the number of renamed or non-sorting blocks into 10, 10, 10 and 11. Remove 3 of those blocks, and then eggs, for example, that stack in 16s will work perfectly well. And what's great is you can have the 16 stackable items all mixed in with your 64 stackable items. They don't have to be kept in a separate inventory system. Unfortunately, items that stack in singles like swords and bows, etc. won't work in this sorter, but they will flow through it and be collected in a final chest right at the end, and I'll show you that later. And you can pop these next to each other as wide as you like to be able to sort as many items as you like. However, This does take a lot of hoppers, so reducing the amount of iron and the number of hoppers that you're going to use in this system is a good thing, not just for server lag and things like that, but also your iron supplies. Now, if you don't care about the iron or the server lag, then you can go as wide as you like with absolutely no breaks. Remember, in the last one, place a chest or a barrel here that has got no mechanism behind it. That means anything that doesn't get sorted will go into this barrel. It's exactly the same, except we've got that hopper going down into that hopper, which goes into the barrel with none of that redstone mechanism next to it. You can then place a hopper directly into the top of that and then run a hopper chain all the way across the entirety of your sorter, right the way to the very end across here, which is quite long what I did. Put an extra one on top there and then pop on a barrel or something on top of that, and that can be the way that you put the stuff into your sorter. However, I am going to get rid of the whole of that top hopper section by doing it in a different way, which also means that you're going to have some gaps periodically through your sorting system that you can use decoratively. Which brings us to part 2, the input system. And for the reduced hopper solution, you are going to separate your modules in sets of 7. For the loading system, you're going to need the items up in that top row. For each set of 7 inventory system modules, you are going to need the items in the bottom row. First up, place a block next to this hopper. That can be any block you want, and place a temporary block next to that. Come in with a dropper, it has to be a dropper, not a dispenser, and face that in towards your hoppers. Then, grabbing your stone, make a cross shape like this, next to and behind your dropper, and then you can get rid of that temporary block. Round behind your cross shape, you're going to place 3 more blocks. That one is temporary, you're going to place 2 off of it and 1 on top of it, and then get rid of that temporary block. Then grab your redstone dust, you're going to place redstone dust on that block, redstone dust on that block, redstone dust on that block, and redstone dust on that block. You're then going to grab a comparator, and that comparator is going to come out of the back of that dispenser, and then you're going to get your repeater, and that is going to face into that piece of redstone dust. Really important, set that to 1 tick. You can also set it to 2, but it has to be at least 1 tick. Then with a hopper, come out of the side of the dispenser just like that, and then place a barrel or a chest on top of that. That is your entry system. If I was to put anything into it, let's just say I put into that stone, that will then spit that stone out just like that. You also might want to unload some shulkers, so place another hopper going into that first hopper right there. When you're ready to place a shulker, just place it on top of that, and all the items will be thrown into the dispenser in exactly the same way. That is the first bit of the input system, but we need to be able to get all the right items across all of the right hoppers, and that is going to take a bit of a water stream. First thing you need to do is line all the way along the sides of your hoppers at this level. So I'm going to shift click onto that hopper, I'm going to come all the way along, straight across the gap as well, right to the very end hopper over here. I'm then going to lap around it, and I'm going to come all the way back again. Once you've got that channel, in your gaps here, you want to shift click against the hopper 1 block of ice. You want to do it on this gap as well, another block of ice. And then above that block of ice, you want to place a sign, and do it on the other side as well, a sign right there. And then what we can do is we can place a water bucket on that block there. We can place a water bucket on that block there, and we can place a water bucket on that block there. That will mean anything being spat out of that dispenser will run across this water stream, across that ice, across that water stream, that ice, all the way to the end, unless one of these hoppers is sensitive to that item. And by that I mean the item that you are sorting will be pulled into the hopper rather than going along that water stream. And that acts in exactly the same way as the hopper chain earlier in the video. If you want to, you can also use gates instead of signs, whichever one you prefer the look of. And then, completely optionally, you could put a sign on your barrel that denotes what is going to be sorted through that section. You could also use an item frame with an item in it, but what you've got to remember on a server especially, item frames are entities, and as a result they can cause lag. So in a solo world, maybe go that way, but on a server, perhaps avoid it and use a sign. Now, this isn't essential, but it does help to reduce any items getting stuck on the hoppers, which can happen very occasionally. But you can run glass all the way along the top. It also encases the entire system and stops something you don't want to fall into it from falling into it. I have now put signs on all of these chests, and I'm going to pop a load of stuff into this one up here. I've got some of all the things that are going to be sorted, plus a few things that won't. And I'm just going to bung them in and see what happens. That has stopped dispensing, the barrel is empty, the dropper is empty, and if we look along here, we've got our items all sorted here. Look, spruce planks, tuff, bird poo blocks, sand, iron ingots, all in the right places. And right at the end here, the unsorted items come along, the diamond sword, the bow, and also logged in some deep slate iron ore. So that is this Minecraft inventory system all complete. However, you can adapt it and expand it. For example, you can put more barrels or double chests if you wanted to underneath, just by placing an extra hopper underneath each row, exactly like that. Or you could obviously make it longer just by adding more sets of 7 for as long as you want to go. And you can also make it multi-level, perhaps with an upstairs or a downstairs, or even as many stairs as you wanted. Let me show you how to do that. Remove the entirety of that last section, the unsorted section, and place a block where the top hopper used to be. Then place a temporary block right there and place a dropper facing downwards underneath that temporary block like that. You can see the hole is facing downwards. Get rid of that temporary block and place a hopper going down into that. Then extend your channel all the way around that hopper. Then repeat the same circuit on that dropper that you've got on your input system that we did a little while ago. Just to remind you of that, coming along parallel with your modules, make sure there is this one gap between them. You're going to create your little cross shape here using your blocks like that, and then you're going to have the 3 blocks to the side of it as well. You're going to pop your comparator coming out of that dropper, you're going to have your repeater going out of that block with a 1 tick, then you're going to place redstone there, redstone there, redstone there, and redstone there. You can then create another sorter underneath this one with the input section at this end rather than the other end, and this dropper literally dropping stuff onto a hopper on top of the input that will then shoot stuff right across to the other side again. And it should look something like this. Notice you've got at least a 2 block gap between the bottom of that dropper there and the top of that hopper. Everything is just a mirrored version of the level above it. And I'm just going to test this out to see if we can't get some unsorted items to go across the top and then back along the bottom. I've got 6 swords. I'm just going to pop them all in. They can run across that top. Let's come along down here, see whether or not it comes out the bottom, and bang, out they come, out of the bottom, all the way along into our unsorted chest. So we've covered the sorting system, we've covered the input system, we've covered expansion, and now I just need to make it into a base for you. So let's crack on with that. So this is a 56 place sorting system, each one with 2 full barrels available for your items. Now I just need to make sure it doesn't look like some kind of industrial monstrosity, so you can move in with a really decent base in this incredible Minecraft 1.18 seed. Let's crack on with the build. are greeted by a big open space, but mobs can't get in because that rail is going to stop them. You've got a guest book nicely decorated in a hall, and you could add so much to this. You can see the lower floor of the item sorter right there, and beyond that you've got some standard storage. You can just shove whatever you wanted in there. Big old nether portal at the back, and a number of different rooms for farming. So you've got your sugarcane, you've got your melons and pumpkins, you've got your carrots, you've got your wheat, and then you've got your bedroom right inside here with a big old bed nicely decorated for you to stay. I'm also throwing in a little bit of armor and some decent weapons for you, you know, because I'm nice like that. Up the grand staircase that's right in the middle, you come to this mezzanine that's got a number of rooms. These two rooms here have been left for you to do with whatever you'd like to do. You've got a little crafting area here, you've got your loom, you've got your smithing table and other bits and pieces. In here, it is a map making room, opportunity to make 2 big maps there with the item frames. You have also in here got your smelting room, including some larger volume smelting that you can take the XP from. Out the front, you can look out of your window across that amazing vista and then access the second level right here of all of that sorted material. Now, you need to be able to get up to the item sorter. So up here, you have got your sorter input barrel, and there's also a shulker unloader. You just pop your shulker there and that'll unload beautifully. And then finally, I thought I'd start you off with a little bit of a mine entrance. All in all, this base is everything you need. To download this base, all you need to do is go to avomance.com, and right there is a free Java downloads tab. Go to free downloads, then pick the Java button, and that will take you straight to my downloads folder, which has got this and loads of other worlds for you. Feel free to make your Minecraft 1.18 survival world right here. If you have enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you would add to it. Where would you like it to be? What different biomes? I'd be really interested to find out. Also, if you have enjoyed it, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.